Hello traders and welcome back to another market update. My name is Nick, and in today's video we're going to be taking a look at the currency market to look at the major pairs and see if there's any potential trade setups or major zones or technical ideas to look out for. Let's go ahead and start with EURUSD, and we're looking here at the EURUSD on the 4-hour chart, and you can see that price at this very level that we've talked about on the last couple market updates previously was holding as a support, but now more recently you can see, as we had mentioned, that this level actually held as a resistance, right? So price came down, tried to hold as a support, but broke through, held as a resistance once and a second time just recently. During the London session, we did get a major push to the downside after coming back into that area. So still watching this zone as now a potential level of bearishness. So going forward, if price and cup get into these zones on the intraday level, you might have some sort of sell side opportunity to look out for. We can also combine this potentially with this trend line that we do see. You can see we had a nice rejection off of that level, and watch out for this trend line going forward. GBPUSD is our next one, and you can see we are currently selling off still on GBPUSD. We actually did kind of get a major bounce off of structural lows here, but now more recently we've seen price start to really kind of fall back down. And you can see if we make this light green, then we can see that this area down here was our recent structural level of support, right? We found a bounce, we found another bounce, and with third bounce, we got a nice little push off of that low and formed a nice little high here. But now we're actually seeing price pull back pretty strongly. And now if we can break through this level right here, this kind of zone right here, this supportive zone, right? That's gonna be a very bearish sign for GBPUSD. So far though, we have not broken through this major zone, right? This previous level of resistance held as a support, and now looking to see if that support will hold once more to push a further rally. If it does push up, we might be headed back to test recent structure highs here, something to look out for. And if we break through that zone, we may see a continuation of the bullish trend that we've seen start on GBPUSD. Let's take a look at USDJPY here. Looking at the daily chart, let's talk about the fact that we still do see this price kind of holding this particular trend, and that right now we might get another test of that particular structure. You can see that this trend line here has held 1, 2, and a third time, and now the question will be, can it hold this fourth push? We did get rejection at the structure high here. You can see price wicked up to that area, found resistance, and pushed back down. And so now as bulls, if you're a buyer here on USDJPY, you really want to see this market kind of push up and break through kind of this structure to give us a new high. That would show some very, very strong kind of pushes here for bulls or for the kind of long side of things. Just something to look out for USDJPY. On the contrary, if we do break through that level as a seller, there might be an opportunity on a potential retest of that trend line. Just something to look out for and create some sort of trading idea if you have some sort of plan in play. Let's go ahead and take a look at Brent crude here, which has completely filled the gap that we talked about, and now coming down into a further level of support. You can see price currently trading in the lows of this consolidation zone. You can see even this zone down here is a level of potential support to look out for. We may see some sort of a bounce here at some point, because you can see Brent crude is quite oversold to the downside, and may see some sort of bounce in this zone. If we do see a bounce, one level to consider is this area right here. This previous level of resistance turned support, and now maybe another resistance point on the rebounds. WTI crude is going to be our next one, which is going to be a very similar story. You can see if we draw in these areas down here, and I zoom out a little bit, you guys can see that this zone down here held nicely as support previously, and in fact we did see a semi kind of bounce just recently off of that level, and may continue to see bullish support in this zone. Something to look for, and opportunities may be there on both the swing trade and the intraday level. XAU USD, this is gold, guys. Let's take a look at gold and see what's going on with this pair. You can see that our trend line here that we had been drawing for quite some time did indeed break, and on the break we mentioned the fact that, okay, there might be some further downside to come. In fact, we did get that. I was thinking that we could get down to the 1440 area at some point. Just from a technical perspective, this kind of zone down here might be a price where gold wants to head. I still think that that's very possible, that we could see a continuation of this downtrend. You can see if we draw this new kind of trend line here, that might be a level to look out for going forward. We also have this zone here to look out for, potential retest, especially if you combine those two factors together. That might be a nice little sell area to consider some sort of sell side action trade. Of course, manage your risk accordingly, and of course, make your own decisions as always. GBPUSD is going to be our next one. You can see on the daily chart, we do have another bounce here off of this level. You can see if we drew this fib, you can see that we came into that 50% level very nicely, bounced off of that kind of support zone, right? If we look left, right, we have some support structure here. We got a nice bounce off of that level and seeing some continuation. I think we could see price head back to recent highs, in that case, we might see some resistance form up in that zone up at the top there. Next up is Euro GBP. Euro GBP is coming into an interesting level for a potential short side action idea, right? You can see prices retracing here into this previous structure on the daily chart, right? This support level has held once and then kind of tried to form here, but then overall sellers took over. So coming into that area, you can see once we've already gotten a rejection, and second time we might be seeing some sort of sell-off if price can come up a little bit into that zone. Just an idea there to build some sort of trading thesis. Guys, thanks so much for watching. We'll catch you next time.